Hello and welcome back to the Orlando Adventures podcast. I'm your host Russ, and this week I'm joined by two more fabulous people. We've got Amy and David from Scotland to Florida. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having us.
No, absolutely my pleasure. How are you both doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, very well. Yeah, it's good to be doing another guest episode. They're my favourite ones to record, and the two of you I wanted to have on for a long time. So I'm excited to do this one.
Yeah, us
Absolutely.
too. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, my pleasure. So who are you both? Who are Amy and David? What is Scotland to Florida?
So I'm Amy, obviously, and this is David. We are, a now engaged couple from Scotland who, love going to Florida. So we started it just because we had started going to Florida together for the first time. When we went together, we just kind of got back into it. We'll get into it in a bit, but obviously David used to live there, and I had been when I was little, and then went with an ex-partner, and then obviously met David, and now we just can't get enough of it. So I followed people on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, and obviously YouTube, and I just wanted to have my own Instagram page because I liked engaging with everyone else, and I thought, I don't want to clog up my personal one with constant photo posts and constant I want to go back and countdowns and all that. So yeah. Nice. It's mainly me that does the Instagram. David's you're not too big on social media and stuff like that. So it's mainly me that's there.
Yeah, I only post on my Instagram when I go on holiday and when I go to Old Trafford. And then I use Twitter for all my sports updates. So I'm not really that big into social media. Amy tells me where to be, and I'll be there.
He sees it all. He sees all the posts and stuff. He obviously follows it, so he sees everything that we're posting. But it's me that's posting majority of the time and speaking to people and things like that. So
nice. And what kind of made you start the YouTube channel as well then?
I loved from ages and ages ago. I loved watching Florida videos. So obviously I had been when I was little, and it was a once in a lifetime for my family. So we never ever went back. But I knew friends and people that I worked with went to Florida, and I was I want to go back one day. And at the time, when I was really young, I had a boyfriend who wasn't into roller coasters, and he always had that idea of, no, I wouldn't go, it'd be a waste. So I never ever went with him, but I just would always watch the YouTube videos. And then with my ex-partner, when I did go in 2019, I think that was, kind of hummed and hawed about vlogging, but it just wasn't the right time. I just wasn't in it. I wouldn't have been able to do it, and I'm glad I never. And then
then you pushed. Well, you never forced me into it, but you thought it'd be good that I get involved, because when I'm listening to your podcast and you're asking people when the first time they visited Florida was, and I think the earliest that I've heard was 2000. Well, the first time I ever went to Florida was 1986.
That's earlier than anyone.
So
fair enough.
So I was quite fortunate. My parents would take me and my sister 2 or 3 times every year. So we had a house over there as well. So I moved there in 2000. So Amy thought my insight to Orlando would be quite useful. So
definitely.
So I just tell her things and she'll post about it.
I think the more we get into it, we'll get better. I mean, we're very new to it and we're not good by any means, but we never vlogged our first trip. It was the second time we went in 22, wasn't it, that we decided just to film on our iPhone and just let's give it a go. I love the travel days, and so does David. So we were I think it started as, let's just do a travel day. We'll not do anything else, we'll just film our travel day. And then we filmed a couple others at the parks and things like that. I mean, they're rubbish. The travel day's okay, but I think this time the May trip that we've just been on, they're a little bit better. So we'll get there. And it is really just to give people information, isn't it?
It's that. I think your videos are good. I rate them. I love it. And I think as much as anything, as long as you're enjoying it as well. And
exactly.
You can look back on it and you can see the memories, and I appreciate some people are trying to do different cinematic stuff and stuff like that, but
that's never going to be us.
If it's just about going out there, capture the memories and something to look back on and enjoy doing it, and that's can't ask any more than that.
And it's good for my mum and things like that, and my dad. They've only been once. I think, when did my mum say it was? 2003.
3 it was,
2003 is when I went. So obviously it's all changed since then. So my mum likes watching our videos and things as well, just to see how much it's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think that's cool. How do you both find like vlogging in the park, so to speak?
I don't mind it as much now. We have tried. We're going to do we're going to get one of the DJI. I think that seems to be the easiest thing for us. Yeah. We've seen a lot of people use them, so we're going to give them a try. But like last trip, we had bought a camera, we bought a gimbal, trying to kind of up the quality, and it just didn't work for us. Like we tried, and it just wasn't natural. So we went back to the iPhone, which I think is amazing. Like if you don't want to spend a lot of money and you've got a good quality iPhone or even a Samsung, whatever, you can film it easily on your phone.
Yeah. It was just too big as well. It's like the gimbal was massive, the camera was massive, so it's just like you're carrying about, and it's like we were walking the last time we were there. We were walking down City Walk, and I had the gimbal out, and I was recording walking along the moving walkways, and then a security guard ran out, came out of nowhere, and chased me down and told me to put it away.
Right. Okay.
So I was like, right, okay. But I don't know if because they did ask me if I was like using it for personal or like commercial content and stuff like that.
No. But that kind of put us off as well. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you feel a little bit awkward of like even getting the camera out at that point.
That's kind of.
But no, I mean, loads of people do it at the parks. Loads of people.
And
stuff like
of course.
So it's not, and I think it's kind of expected most times now. So, but yeah, it's not too bad.
One tip I would say actually for film, if you're going to film on an iPhone, to make it not as scary, is like many other people, like we always FaceTime my mum, and she always says things like, "You don't need to talk to me when you're on FaceTime. Just have the camera and walk around the park so I can see it." And I think that's so true, because you could just be on FaceTime. Nobody knows that you're sitting there filming a YouTube video or content. You could just be on your phone talking to a family member. So if you're using a phone, then that's a good tip to get out your head that like, oh, it's so embarrassing, I'm talking to a phone or camera. It's not actually that bad.
But even like the last trip that we done, when we were waiting at the gate to board the plane, we were just sitting there. I've never ever been in a hotter airport than that Manchester airport, and then there was another girl opposite us, and then she just whipped out her camera and started vlogging as well. So
nice.
And I've since found her, because I was like, I don't obviously know anything about her. I just seen her vlogging, and I think I just searched on Instagram how you can put your location.
Yeah,
I think I'd searched like Manchester Airport and went back to the day that we travelled, and I was like, "There's the girl that was vlogging." So I subscribed her on YouTube and stuff like that. So
that's wicked.
A lot of people want help and hints and tips and information and stuff like that, and the more people that do it, I think that's what people expect. Well, not expect, but it's nice to just people are going on YouTube before it may be their once in a lifetime trip to Orlando, so people will just start scouring YouTube and try to look for all that. Oh, might do that, might do this, might do that. So
it's the first place we look, to be fair. Like even if it's not Orlando, if it's anywhere, a city break or a staycation, we'll go on YouTube and search for like a hotel room tour or something like that.
100%. I'm the same, because there's much something you can see it. Like it's all good, like reading up on it, but like the fact that you can see what you're actually looking for, and people do really good breakdowns on YouTube. I mean, it's absolute shout. Have you got like an inspiration in terms of like YouTubers that kind of like got you into it?
Well, funnily enough, I watched YouTube. We would be lying if I knew all their names, but I watched loads of Florida videos for years and years and years. I just absolutely loved YouTube, and I still do for everything. But when we actually, one of our first holidays together was a city break to Madrid, and we went to Park Warner.
Yeah.
And we searched that theme park on YouTube, and that's how we came across Theme Park Worldwide.
Nice. Okay, cool.
David's like
I'm obsessed with him. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
He's spot on. He's so good. Yeah.
It's just everything that he does. He's so enthusiastic. He's on the money. I love him.
He's so down to earth as well. Like I think I like finding people. I think majority of people that do it are down to earth. But when you find someone that you can connect with, and they're just talking how they would normally talk. They're not faking anything, and they're just themselves. You can that shines through him. So we love watching his videos.
Yeah, just the way he travels as well. He tries to do it. Well, I don't know if he means that on purpose, but he does everything like try to do it on a budget and stuff like that, and showing that you can get to America and it's not that expensive if you do it a certain way. So no, I love his videos, and I think like everyone else, Tim Tracker, everyone's watching him, and
the classics,
and Rick's Flicks. They're I love all the travel days and stuff like that, and I love watching people's series. Well, we'll stick it on and watch it like at the weekends and stuff like that. But I like watching like their short content on Instagram and stuff. And there's a guy, JVTV, I think he's from Philly. He goes around, he's got a YouTube channel, but I like mainly watch him on Instagram because he does like reviews. Currently he's been doing like all the reviews of the Horror Nights houses and stuff like that.
Right, that's cool. Yeah,
he's so funny, I think. But
there's too many to name. I mean, everyone that I follow on Instagram that does YouTube, like I watch their videos. Yeah. So like LNS and like honestly, I would just be
the list goes on.
Name them all, but like every single one, like we'll subscribe to them and we'll watch them. And I think it's always good that as a community, everyone goes at different times, so there's always someone's videos to watch before your next trip. Like LNS have got California trip just now that we've been watching, and I know that they're going to Orlando. Quite a few people are going to Orlando for Horror Nights, like September, October.
Quite a few going from next month.
We can watch a few videos before we go in November, so there's always videos to tide you over.
Love it, absolutely love it. So when did you first go to Orlando together then?
June 2022.
Okay, so so fairly recent. So how many times have you been since then together then?
5, and November will be our 6th time together. Is that right?
Yeah, nice. Exciting stuff.
Surprisingly, it wasn't our first holiday. I don't know why. We met in 2021 and we went on holiday in October 21. And I don't know, I think you could I could be lying, but I think you could travel to America, but you maybe still had to wear masks and things in the park.
Yeah, I think definitely.
No, it was still closed.
Or was it still closed?
Yeah, so I had booked, me and my friend, like I was going through a separation, a divorce with my ex. I had booked to go back to Orlando to my mates with one of my friends from here. So I had it all booked and stuff like that. And this was before the pandemic, before we closed.
Yeah.
And then obviously it kept getting delayed until they opened again. And then we met, and then he wasn't fussed about going to America anymore. So we looked at places that we could go that were on the green list.
Right, yeah.
So we had booked Antigua.
We went to the Caribbean.
And that's when we went to Antigua.
That's right. I knew there was a reason that we never.
We just changed the name and then and then just paid the difference for
Yeah.
Antigua. So we went there for 10 nights.
I knew there was a reason that Florida wasn't our first holiday. Yeah. As soon as I met David and I found out he used to live in Florida, I was like, oh my god, like I love Florida. Like I've wanted to go back for ages. And
so you went. When was it? You went with your ex? That was 2019.
2019, and we had booked to go in 2020, but obviously we'll not talk about that. But that never happened. So it was June 22 was our first time together, and we have done a couple of city breaks in between and a couple of staycations. But in terms of big holidays, every time we look to go somewhere, we're like, nah, we'll just go back to Florida.
You kind of look at. I know what it's like though. You look at it and you go, right, let's look at something else. You go, but what about Florida then?
I know. Like even for our November trip, it's David's 40th. And I'd say, do you not want to go somewhere different? Do you want to do like a relaxing holiday? He's like, nope, I don't want to be anywhere on my 40th, but Orlando.
I just want to spend it with my friends. So I just, that's what I want to do. So
did you used to live in Florida then, David?
Yeah, so I moved. So like I said, I was 2 years old when I first went to Florida. So my mum and dad would take me and my sister 2 or 3 times every year, and all my family would go. So my nana and my papa, they would go as well. They would always go together. So I would go 2 or 3 times every year, and like I say, we had a villa over there. So my dad was fed up of the grind over here, and then we moved over in 2000. And so I went to high school, went to Poinciana High School and college over there, and I was working for my mum and dad when I was living there, and then moved back the summer of 2008. So just lived in the, I don't know if you know where Medieval Times is. Well, on Poinciana Boulevard there's a subdivision called Indian Point, and that's where I lived. But you could get access to it. It was the big Walmart on the 192 behind Medieval Times. Houses were in there. So it's changed so much.
And you thought when it was the first trip we went before we flew into Melbourne airport the first time, so we had quite a drive. And before we even got to our villa, he took me to his old house. I was desperate to see it in his high school and stuff. So we did that like the minute we got to Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be like such a different experience to a lot of people as well, though. Like obviously for like myself and for Amy, like we're getting out there on a holiday, but where for you to kind of go back to what used to be your home as well. It's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And I feel like I can adapt to that as well, don't I? Because it still feels like a holiday, obviously, but the big part of it is that all David's best friends are out there, and we don't spend 24/7 with them. We still do our own things, but it's always a big thing to meet his best friend and his wife, and just spend time with him as well. So, and you can just tell, like, bless David, like, you can just tell it's his home. Like, he just doesn't feel
happy.
at home in Scotland. And he's just a different person as soon as he lands into Florida. So I love that for him. So
love that. His happiest place.
Yeah.
Either there or Old Trafford, from what I've understood.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah, going back to Florida is where it's where I'm happiest. It's still consider it my home. So
definitely.
Fantastic.
It makes me a bit of a Scrooge when we go as well, because Amy wants to do everything, and I'm like, my mate used to work for Disney, so I never ever paid for Disney tickets.
Right. So
so I would go to the parks for free, and I had an annual pass at Universal, which cost $250.
Wow.
Free parking. Yeah. No blackout dates, no nothing.
So now you want about the
and
price.
Now it's just the price, and I'm just like, I used to get this for nothing, and now I'm having to pay for it.
Yeah, I get that. Nice. I suppose with regards to you both going to Orlando, so did you get married in Florida?
We're getting married. We got engaged.
You got engaged,
June last year. We got engaged.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
so when
at the Grand Floridian, I was going to say.
Oh, amazing.
We weren't staying there. We just went for dinner. We can't afford to stay there yet.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And so where is the wedding then?
Paradise Cove in Orlando. We had seen quite a few people like that we follow on Instagram who have been married at Paradise Cove. And then I had followed them on Instagram for a while. And then, funnily enough, a girl that I met at work, who's one of my closest friends now, she got married at Paradise Cove.
Oh,
I remember she overheard a conversation in the office, me and someone else talking about Florida. And she came over and I was like, yeah, I was just saying because I got engaged. She was like, I got engaged in Florida. I was like, I'm getting married in Florida. She was like, I got married in Florida. And then we both stayed in the same venue. And I was like, oh my God. So that made us want to book it because we knew someone who had been there as well. And it's really good value. Like, we'd looked at doing the big wedding and stuff over here, but it's just not for us. And it's just going to be the two of us and our friends in Florida, just very casual, and it worked out best. And it's a lovely venue as well. So
eliminate all the family politics. So
all the wedding drama. So
fair enough. Oh, fantastic. Well, obviously, congratulations. Very excited for you both. That'll obviously be an unbelievable experience, no doubt.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's October next year. Everyone, because we're going back to Florida this year, a lot of people think it's this year we're getting married, but it's like October 25. So we're looking forward to it.
I've currently, last year when we went, it was before we got engaged. A week before, I was playing basketball and ruptured my Achilles.
Oh, no.
And I've still not had surgery on it, so I've still got a ruptured Achilles. And we went for the visit at Paradise Cove, and she's talking about bringing me in on a speedboat and everything like that. And I was like, no, just keep my feet on the ground,
we'll not be doing any of that. Because that's how it started. It was a water sports venue, and now they've done it all up, and it's events and wedding venues.
Which when I told you when I was a kid, I went water skiing and jet skiing there as a kid. When
it's just next
sports.
to a lot of people wouldn't even know it's there, but it's literally just next to the Vineland outlets, like the turn in before there. And you just drive down like this tiny narrow road, and it's on Lake Is it Byron? Lake Bryan or Lake Byron?
Lake Bryan.
So you wouldn't even know it's there, but you drive down and it's all this open, beautiful venue on a lake. So
there's a turn in just after that's in between the steakhouse and the Holiday Inn hotel. It's just right down there.
Yeah, looks really good.
Cool. How long are you going out there for next October then? Are you kind of doing honeymoon at the same time kind of situation?
Kind of. We've not obviously booked flights or anything like that. We're going in November this year. We'll probably go May 25. And then for the October wedding trip, we think we'll do 3 weeks or maybe just under 3 weeks, depending on the flights.
Oh,
just
amazing.
Because we want to have like a week before the wedding, so we're all organised. And then we are going to stay at the Grand Floridian, and we're going to look at renting the DVC points. My mum's going to give us some money towards that as a wedding present, just because that's where we got engaged, and she was like, that would be nice for
absolutely, be stunning.
So try and do 2-3 nights there. So we might do 3 weeks or just under, but nothing's set in stone yet.
Oh, nice. I suppose get on to the November trip then. That's the next one. That's the one directly looking forward to. Where are you staying on that trip?
So we usually stay at a friend of a friend's villa, but the guy that owns it likes to go for like Thanksgiving time, Christmas time, so he's going to be there for November, which is absolutely fine. So we kind of were on the hunt for a villa, which we've never well, you've done in the past, but we're kind of back to scratch. Like, where are we going to stay? Like, we looked at hotels, but we just prefer the villa. It just works better for us. So we found a villa through a website called Simply Owners, and it's not far from where we normally stay.
It's on the 27. It's just up from Kagan Crossing, just up from the Walmart. It's like Sunset Lakes kind of area up on 27.
Yeah, so it looks a nice villa. You know what villas are like in Florida? They're all they're all pretty similar, and
and I rate them. I know obviously I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people stay on site.
Yeah,
I'm an advocate of an off-site, and I love a villa, I love an apartment, something like that. I think it's a really nice to be outside the parks and enjoy more of Florida, in my opinion. So I totally rate it. You go on.
We notice as well, like staying a little bit further away from the parks. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like the restaurants are obviously a little bit quieter because you're not like right on International Drive, and then even like the supermarkets and the gas and stuff's a little bit cheaper because you're not like as close. Like, I don't know if you've noticed that. Like, all the Walmarts seem to have different prices by a few cents.
Well, even the one on 192 next to Formosa Gardens, that Walmart, that's different prices in there than it is on the Walmart on the 27.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not by like loads, but you can definitely notice it by a few cents.
You do notice it, like when we go in there, and like that one on Turkey Lake or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, these prices are nuts.
Yeah,
like, it's madness. How do people live here? Well, they're not paying those prices. That's probably why.
Yeah, it's because you went to the Walmart that's at like the bang on the tourist area.
Yeah, exactly that. Are you doing all the theme parks? What's the plan in November?
So we need to renew our annual passes for Universal. So we'll just do that once we get there. So we'll be doing Universal, obviously. We're not doing Disney as such, but we basically, like what David just said there about rupturing his Achilles, we didn't get to use majority of our Disney days the time that he did that. So a couple of people had said, like, don't let your tickets go to waste, like, see if Disney can do anything. And I felt a bit cheeky emailing them, but, you know, I thought, oh, well, I'll try it. You know, it would be, we spent all this money, and you can see that we've hardly used our park days. But we only went like a few times, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we had these 14-day tickets. So I reached out to Disney and said about David, said how we got engaged, and like a bit of a sob story, I suppose. But, you know, we got engaged and we couldn't enjoy it. But it was true. You know, David was in a wheelchair for most of the trip. And a moon boot. I mean, I was still adamant that we were going and not cancelling the holiday. So bless him, he struggled. But Disney were really kind, and they gave us complimentary tickets, and they basically extended the days that we had left. So I think we had 8 or 9 days, and they just gave us like non-datey tickets. So there was 8 days on them, nice. And they lasted until 2028. So we've just been kind of knocking them off, like, so they can last as long as. So we've got 1 day left on it, 1 day, and then they'll be finished. So we're going to go to Magic Kingdom for that 1 day in November. And then we've also bought the Jollywood Nights tickets, because that's David's favourite Disney parks, Hollywood Studios. So we're going to do that. MGM. Still calls it MGM.
I refuse to call it anything but MGM.
Yeah. I love that.
Go to Disney Springs, I say, oh, we're meeting at Downtown Disney.
Yeah, you can't get the older names out your head.
Yeah, ingrained. Are you going to do both? You can do both studios parks?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We don't do Volcano Bay with the annual passes. Just never bothered. We have done it in the past, but like, we're not massive on the water parks. They're good.
Just because like that water coaster when we went last time, it was like a 4.5 hour wait or something to get on it.
Oh, really?
I done it once in 2019, Volcano Bay, and I got on the water coaster, and then we done it together.
But my mate's a manager at Universal, so he gets free tickets for Volcano Bay, and he's always at us to. He's like, just let me know when you're free and we'll go to Volcano Bay.
I think they get something like 40 tickets to give to friends and family.
But they get so many. He was saying that like all the staff, they get that many, they can't use them all. So there's just like hundreds of tickets just floating around.
For Volcano Bay. So so we're looking forward to that. What else? We're going to try and do like an Orlando Magic game.
Yeah, I'm dying. Again, I used to have season tickets for the Magic, so
we've never done it together.
We've never been at this time of year when they're playing, so I'm dying to take Amy to a Magic game.
And last trip in May, we actually went to. David works for Nike, so he's like massive on Nike as a brand. And we drove to Gainesville just to go to the Nike store at Gainesville, because they usually have a lot of Florida Gators merch. Yeah. So whilst we were there, we went to the University of Florida, didn't we? Yeah. We never got in, but you can actually do tours and stuff like that there, which I thought was cool. They weren't doing them on the day that we were there, but we still got to like wander about the campus and stuff. Yeah. And the guy gave us like the timetable, like a big poster. So there might be a game that we could go and see.
There's basketball and there's football on at the same time when we're there in November.
Might do that as well.
It's a big game. They're playing LSU at home, so That's when I'm there. So that's a big SEC rivalry game. So,
but they've not been released. They've not been released either yet.
The tickets haven't. No, it's just season ticket holders that are getting first dibs. But then they go on sale soon once the season starts. So
see if we can do that as well.
Loads of stuff on. Loads of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Are you? Go on. I was just going to say you're quite into like SeaWorld. Are you into Busch Gardens as well?
Yeah, we've done. When did we last do Busch Gardens and SeaWorld? Was it 2000?
Not last year, the year before.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, and then did we do SeaWorld in 23?
We did SeaWorld.
We did Pipeline.
Yeah.
We wanted to go to do Pipeline. I don't think we'll bother this time. We might.
Yeah.
Because we've not.
Our friends have got annual passes for SeaWorld, so we might go. But
yeah. I'd be quite keen to go back to Busch Gardens, to be honest.
I just wanted to go on Pipeline. I just wanted to see what that was like. Because I've been on.
How did you find it?
Awful. I would never go on it.
You not enjoy it?
You know what? Such a cool coaster. So I feel bad saying that, but it made me feel so ill. Like, just made me feel so sick.
Yeah,
I don't get motion sickness on much rides, apart from like Forbidden Journey, but I think that's a given. But Pipeline, I literally came off it feeling like I need to sit for 20 minutes. Like, I just felt so ill, and I was gutted because, you know, it's there's nothing else like that.
I think
it's totally unique.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it, obviously. But I'm 6'3", and I think it's if you're 6'5" and over, you can't go on the ride.
Yeah,
there's a minimum and a maximum height restriction. So because of the seat goes up and down. But I just wanted the experience, because when I went to Six Flags Magic Mountain in California a few years ago, and they had a Joker coaster, and that was a stand-up coaster, and it was unreal. So I just wanted to see what this one was like a bit. But no, it was. I loved it.
Yeah, I love SeaWorld. I know that people, you know, some people don't rate it, and I know it's kind of like a bit political with SeaWorld and stuff like that. But I think they've made big changes, and we don't go for the animals. We go for, you know, their new coasters and things like that. And they have so many. You know, you can't.
Well, they're moving away from being that kind of, when I was a kid, that kind of animal-focused park to more of a
100%.
thrill park now.
That's where all your best and biggest rides are, really.
Busch Gardens, But again, it's like, it might be controversial, but a lot of obviously everyone's just seen Blackfish and just said that's what SeaWorld is. But living in Orlando, you see what they do for the local community and the local wildlife. So you tell me a corporation that isn't corrupt, then I'll give you the shot off my back.
I get you. But they're like, in terms of from a ride perspective, like they're churning out coasters year on year, but they're good coasters as well. Like,
they've even got, like, since we've been last, they've got, I know it's a family coaster, but they've got the Penguin Trek that's
just
open.
Yeah.
So they're always bringing out new things, and Busch Gardens too. So, but like
Shikra and Nyan Gwazi are like two of my favorite rides.
Oh, unreal!
I absolutely love them.
You can get
petrified Nyan Gwazi.
Do you know what? I would go on it again because I was petrified of Velocicoaster when I first went on that, and now I enjoy that. But I think I just got a fright because it's like that new concept of just the lap bar. So I remember going on Nyan Gwazi and saying to David, like, surely it's not going to go upside down. It can't go upside down because look at what we're sitting in. And he's like, nah, it doesn't go upside down. And then obviously, spoiler alert, it went upside down. I think I was crying when I got off it because I was just shocked, like how. But if I was to do it again, I probably would enjoy it like I did with Velocicoaster. It's just I prefer the over the shoulders, but I'm getting used to it.
I think that they're certainly going the way of the lap bar, like since like Mako, especially from SeaWorld, and then Velocicoaster, and then like Gwazi said, I think they're going that way for a bit more. They're going more thrill. I think,
you can see why they do it because like now, I think I've done Velocicoaster 3 or 4 times now, and now I'm like, I know what to expect, and I'm not as scared, and I enjoy it. But I mean, it throws you about, and that's part of the experience, isn't it? That's what they're trying to do. So
love it.
I love them.
I suppose while we're talking about rides, I've got my new little feature. I say it's new. It's been in the podcast for a little while now. Called Keep, Update, or Close.
Yeah.
I went for a bit of a Universal theme for the two of you, and the 3 options which I gave you were E.T., Despicable Me, and Jimmy Fallon. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to know where you go on these.
You go first.
Me go first. I already decided as soon as you sent me it because we kind of spoke about this, didn't we? So for me, I would get rid of Despicable Me.
Okay.
I would keep Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And update E.T.
Okay. Would you
By
change the IP of ET or just like
No, like just
refresh it?
still keep it as ET, but just like a little bit of a refresh. That was my thinking.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
ET is like so nostalgic. Like I love it. Like that was there when I went when I was little, and my mum and dad went on it and can remember it. And you just can't not do ET. I remember when we went in May for the first week and a bit, it was closed for refurbishment or some reason. And we were absolutely gutty, but we managed to get on it on like one of our last days at Universal because you just got to do ET. So no, I wouldn't change the theme or anything like that. Just I don't know, just maybe a bit of an update. But I love Jimmy Fallon. I think it's so underrated. I know that a lot of people think it's a load of rubbish or it's not worth going on, but you love it.
It's fun. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you've watched his show, I think you'd probably get a bit more appreciation of it. I think that's probably fair. But which way would you go, David?
Probably the same. I love Jimmy Fallon, but again, that's because I've spent years and years watching the Tonight Show.
Absolutely.
So like when you go in and you see like Jay Leno and Jimmy Carson and stuff like that, all the old hosts and everything, that brings back memories for me. So I do like Jimmy Fallon. E.T. probably the same. I would update that.
Yeah.
Maybe just animatronics and stuff like that. Get an update, but keep the smell.
That smell.
And I would get rid of Despicable Me. I just don't think it's a good ride. But
I
love Despicable Me as a film, but I don't like the ride. And again, I'm old school. I like the Hanna-Barbera ride, the Dick Dastardly and the Jetsons and stuff like that. So I prefer that.
We've done the Despicable Me rides though, but
it's just the line is so long for it, and it's always up at like 70, 90 minutes and stuff like that, and it's just like
definitely good for kids, but unless you're like a massive fan, I would probably skip it. But definitely
it's
good for families.
It's one of those. It's like it's all right. It's certainly not worth the queue. I think that's probably fair for anyone. I think if you queued an hour and a half for it, you'd be disappointed coming off it. You know what? That wasn't all that. And to be fair, like David just said, it used to be the Hanna-Barbera one. This is a third iteration of the same ride. Like at some point, you've just got to go. You know what? Maybe it's had its time. Maybe.
Again, I love the Twister ride as well, and it's like
classic.
Now obviously the new movie's out. Should they have on for that? I don't know, but again, it's like it's like even little bits like that. I was telling Amy, like when the ride first opened, a tornado hit Orlando quite badly, so that delayed the opening of it. But I just and I watched Twister the other night actually. But yeah, I'm old school. I love all the old stuff.
Yeah, no, I love it, love it. I suppose going from that to kind of like my 5 main questions that I ask every guest. What's your favourite ride? The kind of like the main one. Favorite ride for both of you?
Like any overall, out all the parks.
Go any park in Orlando. I mean that's fair.
So hard, isn't it? Do you want to go first?
Velocicoaster's the obvious one. I absolutely love Iron Gwazi. I love a wooden coaster. I don't know, there's that many. And I again, like when I was listening to the one that you did about like your day at Universal, I love Doctor Doom. I'm a massive Marvel fan as well. I just love it.
Good man.
Every time it gets you, you're like, you just get so nervous, like when's it going to shoot me up?
And
then it's just instant thrill. I love it. I love Spider-Man. I love them all.
I think for me it would probably be Hulk, and I know that that'll be controversial, but it's just one of the golden oldies. Like I have to do it every time. David doesn't do it anymore just because it throws him about and he doesn't feel very well coming off it now. But
I don't know what's happened. It's the only ride that I feel it's just as soon as I nearly pass out every time I go on it. Now, just right at the start, so I can't go on it.
I've heard a few people say that,
but it's the only ride that does that for me.
But I love it. I went on it on my own the last time. Just it squeezed it in right at the end of the trip. I was like, I'm just going to go on my own. Bye. It was like a short wait time, and I was like, I'm going to do it, and I love it. So
Velocicoaster has to be.
There's too many of the new ones to choose.
There's so
I don't think I could pick between Hagrid's, Velocicoaster, Tron.
Tron, I'm a massive Tron fan. I geek out every time I see something. I was just seeing on D23 about the new film that Aries came out. I'm like, oh my god, I love Tron. I love the classic Tron movie, and but Tron was so good. I mean, you've seen it for years in China and stuff like that. It's like, when's that coming? And it took so long to build in Orlando. But that's.
But I feel like there's just too many to choose from, so I'll stick with the golden oldie Hulk.
Hulk's a shout though. Like I like it. Obviously, I've said a lot. I'm a massive Marvel fan, so I'm all for it. But like, I think it as a coaster, I think it looks stunning.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. That thing at night is like, oh, I love
and riding it at night's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it really is. I love the launch. I think it's just, yeah.
That's my favorite part. I think that's why I love it so much. Is just like I love being in the queue as well. Like I love the queue.
Yeah.
And then the launch is just I've tried and explain to people that I've not been in. I'm like, oh, it's amazing. Like the music and everything.
It's wild. I think it's the only thing is it's that over shoulder restraint. I think I find I end up banging my head against it.
That's why he doesn't like it.
Kind of came off it.
Yeah, it's just that my head feels like my brain's getting flipped upside down when you shot out in the barrel roll and then like the turning and the loop and stuff like that. It's just that all of a sudden you're just
you're disorientated entirely. Yeah. No, it's a good shout though. Going from favourite ride to favourite park then. This will be interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough choice.
It's always tough.
I think for us, for me, definitely. I think the same for you, but it would be Islands Adventure for me. I mean, like Universal as a whole is where we love to be. Don't get me wrong, we absolutely love Disney as well, but it's not our priority when we go. Like I know that some people will go and just do Disney, and we've done that in the past. We've done that in September 22, sorry. Our second trip together, we did just Disney, and we just had a Horror Nights ticket. Don't get me wrong, we loved it, especially not seeing the Disney parks for so long. But I did miss Universal. Like I was gutted that we never had the 14-day ticket for that as well. But sometimes if you want to go a couple of times a year, you just can't do it all. You got
to split it. Yeah.
One for cost and two just time. I remember when I went with my ex-partner, we never done Disney, but we had the Flexi ticket, and it was like the Universal parks, Volcano Bay, SeaWorld, Aquatica, Busch Gardens, and even trying to cram all that in and plus shop stuff in 14 days was so hard. So I never know how people manage to do 2 weeks and do Disney, Universal, SeaWorld. I'm like, I take my hat off to you.
There's like no rest days. It's just constant. You want the only way to do it. But I think Universal is my favorite. Like that as a whole. I mean, I'm not. I think it's because I've been going to Disney for so long. For me, I don't think there's not enough changed. So I grudge paying the money to go to it. You've got Tron and Cosmic Rewind's only really thing, but I know this will be a controversial hot take, but I cannot stand Epcot. I hate it. It's like, for me, it is the worst park.
And I love it, by the way.
Yeah. So. What is it about Epcot then?
For me, there's nothing there. I like thrill rides. Nothing. I think in the 2000s, Test Track was a lot better than what it is now. But again, like when I would go with my mates, like the one that worked there, would park at Magic Kingdom, get the bus over to Animal Kingdom, do Everest, leave, go to Epcot, do Test Track, leave, go to MGM, do Tower of Terror, do Rock and Roller Coaster, do Star Tours, leave, and then go to Magic Kingdom.
But you've had the luxury of being able to do that. So many other people haven't, and I think with Epcot as well, you know that there's not much shade at Epcot. There's not really a escape from the heat.
It's such a big park.
It's
Agreed.
Huge. And we're not massive drinkers, because I know that one of the big thing about Epcot is like eating and drinking around the world. David's the world's fussiest eater, so in terms of like Mexican, I mean, I like all food. But David's so fussy, so he wouldn't really appreciate the food and stuff that's on offer at Epcot. He's such a fussball.
I like Scottish food and British traditional food. And
so you like the British bit
and burgers and steak. That's my diet.
Nice.
But I do like Epcot, and we did have a nice day when we went the last time in May, because they've got like the Journey of Water. Is it Journey of Water in Moana? That's a cool attraction. We spent quite a bit of time in there, and we actually tried. We knew we weren't going to go back to Disney. We might get the 14-day ticket for Disney in October next year, but the next couple of trips we're not going to buy Disney tickets. So we really spent a lot of time in each park, didn't we? And we were there we did everything at Epcot that day. We were there from 10 in the morning till 6 at night, because we had quite a long wait on the virtual queue for Cosmic Rewind. So we just tried to do as much as we can, and we did go around the different pavilions, and I went got food at the Mexican pavilion, and I like it. I think it's a good park. Just to walk around, but like you said, it's massive, and there's not a massive amount of shade.
My niece is obsessed with Frozen, so we did the Frozen ride, but I just recorded it the entire time. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but I just recorded it the entire time, so I can't even remember much of the ride because I was just holding my phone.
Kind of watching it through the phone.
Show your niche, but no, I don't mind it, but it's not my favourite.
But you like Animal Kingdom as well, and I'm not a fan of Animal Kingdom, but I just again, it's like from what I've seen, I just don't think there's a big enough change at the parks.
Yeah,
and the prices just
yeah.
keep going up and up and up, and there's nothing really that new. And even like at Magic Kingdom, there's like I love Tron, but Space Mountain doesn't really do anything for me anymore. And
yeah, this is it. You want to feel like you're getting like something back for the extra money you're spending on your ticket. I mean, it's fair to say, and like I appreciate that Disney do a lot in terms of films and TV, and all that kind of stuff. But the parks, especially in Florida, I think like we want a bit more. We want something big. I mean,
Magic
big, aren't we?
Magic Kingdom's my favorite Disney park, I do say that I love all the thrill rides and that, but the People Mover, Haunted Mansion, and It's a Small World are probably my favorite rides.
Yeah, just classic. Yeah.
I think even if it was pouring down with rain all day, you couldn't not have a good day at Magic Kingdom. Like it's just every time we go, we have such a good day from start to finish. Like it's probably like the happiest part, because you know what it's like going to Florida. You can bicker and argue, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
And probably the bigger your party is, or the more, if you've got kids more and stuff like that, it's more stressful. But anytime we've went to Magic Kingdom, I don't think we've ever had an argument or bickered in Magic Kingdom, because
it's the happiest place on earth.
It's the happiest place on earth. So, and it's got all those nostalgic rides. Like we love Pirates of the Caribbean, like you said, the People Mover and all that. So
fantastic. So what's your hidden gem? This is one of my favorites. I love knowing what people think is like their hidden one
at the parks.
To be honest with you, I go in Orlando. I've never specifically kind of said it's just the park.
I think if you're visiting Florida, you need to go to one of the beaches.
Anyone in particular?
St. Pete's or Clearwater. The Gulf Coast beaches are better than the Atlantic coast. I think Daytona's too run down now, and Cocoa Beach is too much of a party destination. So if you're looking for like a friendly beach, like Cocoa Beach, Anna Maria Island, Clearwater Beach, St. Pete's Beach, it's stunning down there.
What about in the parks?
In the parks, hidden gem.
Something that maybe not many people know about, or not everyone does when they go to the park.
I don't know, everyone probably does everything on it.
I have one thing in mind, but I feel like the more people discover it, they're YouTubing it and they're on Instagram. But for me, I had never heard it until I went with David, and it's food, but it's Twisty Treat.
No,
and David's laughing because I am obsessed. And if you don't hire a car, you might not find a Twisty Treat, because they're quite out the way.
There's one on iDrive up next to the Endless Summer Resort, just opposite, just down from where Wet n Wild was. There's one there, but it's like, again, they were everywhere in like the 90s,
right?
And then they disappeared for, I don't know why, but they just disappeared off the face of the earth. And then one opened up just along from my house, and then I was like, oh my god, they're back.
Well, I remember when we went to Florida, whatever time it was, and it was the girl at my work had said, I can't believe you know what Twisty Treat is. Because she was like, so many people that go to Florida, they'll not have a clue what it is. But I think people are catching on now, and more people are going to it. But I love it. And it's so cheap as well. Like, I
mean, I've been a lot of times. I've never had one, but I've driven past that one. I've walked past that one. Like, I don't know how many times. Like,
it's just soft serve ice cream. But it's so good.
But they do everything. They do milkshakes and sundaes, but it's funny because I've heard people say on Instagram and YouTube that they've drove past them and thought like they just look a bit like dingy, and they're like, what is that? It looks a bit tacky.
Sometimes that's the best, though, isn't it?
But I think some of the places are the best. So I'm like, you need to try it. Like, they're good. They're good. So that would be a food hidden gem. I can't really think of.
Going to celebrations probably. I love it. The town tavern, I've been going there for decades now. It's so good. The food's really unbelievable. And it's just nice just to walk along the lakefront and just see the town and stuff like that. And if there's any keen golfers listening, the golf course at Celebration's unbelievable. Gutted, they used to have a cinema there, a 2-screen cinema. I went to see Coyote Ugly when it was open, when it came out. But no, it's nice. What's the ice cream parlour called?
Kilwins.
Kilwins.
I've seen you go there, Russ. You like Kilwins, don't you?
It's so good.
We hadn't ever heard it. Well, you had obviously, but I hadn't heard it before going to Celebration. But when we went to Gainesville, they have a little shopping area that's actually called Celebration Point. at
Yeah.
Gainesville, and they had a Kilwins there as well. So
Nice.
there must be a few dotted about, but yeah, that's really good ice cream place as well.
Yeah, absolute shout. Yeah, there's a few hidden gems in there. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the hidden gems around Orlando as well. Like I'm all for more of Orlando.
Yeah.
There's just so much to do. Like the mini golf's great. Going to Top Golf is
big fan.
I'm a big golfer, so Top Golf is so good. It's so much fun. But even like you don't play golf, but
we still have
it's still fun.
Still fun. And the food's good. I keep saying this. I think the food's decent there.
We've never tried the food. We always usually have had dinner before we go, but we'll need to remember that next time we go to Top Golf to not have dinner and try the food there.
People have like at the bays next to us and that have been eating and stuff like that. It does look good.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. I remember when that Top Golf opened, I watched a Tim Tracker video. And he was like doing his normal thing where he reviews F and he reviewed the food and he was like, genuinely, this is one of the best foods I've had around Orlando. Somebody
a
lives
lot of
there.
People say that,
yeah. I can vouch for it, having done it a lot. Yeah. So going from Hidden Gem, what's your most overrated ride then? This is the controversial one. Let's be honest.
Did I say mine? Have we had this conversation?
Well, I told you mine, and you were like, "What?"
Right, you go first. Then. You go first.
I think for me, the most overrated ride is Escape from Gringotts.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it a bit though.
Again, I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
Because I have to wear glasses, so having the glasses on top of it is a bit of annoying. But they always fall off on that ride. They never fall off on Spider-Man.
Anything else? Yeah, just that one.
Fall off on that. But I just don't know. I just don't know what it's supposed to be. It might just be me. It irritates me because it's like, are you a roller coaster? Are you a dark ride? What are you?
Yeah. This hybrid of everything.
It's still really cool. For me, the pre-show is one of the best pre-shows. I love the elevator.
It's great.
Going into the office and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's just when it starts moving, it stops, and I just want a bit more from it. But that's just me.
Fair shout.
Again, I think it's because before we went on it was again the wait times were massive. And so many people were raving about it, and for me, it didn't live up to the hype. So I think that's why I've got this opinion of it.
Like you said, the queue's impressive. So if you've never done it, like don't be put off by that.
You got to do it.
Everyone, I think it's really good, but I can see where you're coming from. And the wait times are not that bad anymore.
Not anymore. But when it first came out,
it died down.
And stuff like that.
My one, okay. Mine's is probably going to be really controversial because I do like this ride, but it's the only one that I can think is overrated because I love so many of them. I don't like saying, I don't like them. But for me, overrated probably be Haunted Mansion.
I get it. I do get it. Yeah.
Again, it's like the queue's cool and like it's got a good concept, but when you actually think about it, you're just
about what it is
in that tiny little dome thing or whatever you want to call it. And then we got stuck. I think for me, the tipping point was we got stuck on it.
Yeah, broke down.
Right at like at the graveyard when they're singing, and they sang that song over and over and over for about 35 minutes. So we're stuck on this ride, and I was like, nah. But we still go on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we were at Magic Kingdom, we would still go on it, and we still like it. But
yes, we will.
And I love
get
all
what
the
you mean though. Like the theming, brilliant. The nostalgia, fantastic. What the actual ride is,
you could. You're not going to lose sleep over it if you don't get on it. But I mean, like me last went. I think that one of the trips we watched the new Haunted Mansion film, didn't we, on Disney Plus?
Oh, last year.
Was that last year? And so I mean, they're still making new movies of it and stuff like that. So it's still a good ride, then
keeping it kind of relevant.
Keep it there, absolutely. Don't get rid of it. But it's if you queued because the queue times for that can be crazy for Haunted Mansion. And I think if you spent a lot of time, you could be disappointed just with what the ride is. But still a good one. I feel bad saying that, but
no, but at the end of the day, it's not like I know where you're coming from. Like the same with Gringotts, it's not a negative. It's not I hate the ride. It's not that. It's just that I know that a lot of people hype these rides beyond what potentially they are.
Yeah,
which is it's fair because different people are gonna have different opinions on it, and that's what it's all about. That's why we love going back as well, because every trip's different, every experience is different, and kind of leads us on to the final question. The final question is what is the best thing or your favorite thing to do outside of the park? David's probably got a list like as long as his arm. I reckon.
Like how long have you got for David? Yeah.
Well, mine's just I just love seeing my friends.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool. Yeah.
Eating.
And Ian.
Like
I love it.
the food's a big thing
Yeah.
for Orlando.
I'm a big Outback Steakhouse person. I love the Outback. I've spent every birthday was spent at Outback. My graduation was spent at Outback. Every my mum's birthday, my dad's birthday, we always went to Outback.
Outback's the place to go. Nice.
But I do love it.
I love shopping, and then I love Disney Springs. Like, I love going to Disney Springs. Like, I remember when I went in 2019, this sounds terrible, but like, I hadn't been since I was little, and like, my ex had been a few times, so I'm surprised we never rented a car, and we never went to Disney Springs. Like, so I went for 2 weeks, and for some reason, we never went to Disney Springs once. So we spend a lot of time there now because there's so much to do there, you know, like there's the restaurants, there's the shops, there's a cinema if you want it, there's the rooftop bar at the Coca-Cola shop, which is so cool. Like, you always discover something new at Disney Springs, I think, because it's just so big.
Shopping's probably my favourite thing to do there. And outside of going to the parks and see my friends and stuff like that, I do love shopping. But again, it's just so changed. It's like I told Amy, like when I was living there, you used to go into the polo store and you'd pick up 3 polo t-shirts, 3 for $25.
Yeah.
And it's those days are long gone. But
you still get good bargains at
But if anyone,
shops.
just a little tip, but if anyone, give them your email address so you can sign up to their mailing.
Yeah.
Because every month I get like 25-30% off like codes. So they work when I go over and they work on top of sale items. So if something's like 20% off, you're getting a further 25-30% off as well. So it's a lot cheaper than
good
buying stuff here.
Yeah, same with Bath. Like, I know a lot of people love Bath and Body Works, but they're the same. If you sign up to their rewards, the amount of free stuff that you can get with AIM is amazing. Like, their reward system's really good. I think America in general, they seem to reward you a bit better than the UK anyway. I mean, I remember I didn't spend that much in Bath and Body Works, but a fair amount. And then I was like, right, well, we need to go back because I've got 4 free gifts. And it was like, it wasn't the big massive candles, but it was like the single wick candles, and I got like 4 of them for free just because I'd spent over $100 or something like that and got all these points. So it is worth it. You know, I know that not everyone's going to have a US number, but you can buy US SIMs, like pay-as-you-go SIM type things over there if you want to get a US number, but a lot of places just take your email address. So that is a good tip.
Yeah. Good shout. Nice. I mean, that kind of wraps us up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
it's been so good.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I've loved it. I've enjoyed chatting with you both so much.
Thank you.
So good to hear like your perspective. It's like, David, your perspective having lived there as well, I mean, is wicked. And obviously you've got so much exciting stuff coming up, like your trip November, October next year. Like, there's loads going on.
And we're hoping that with the videos and things like that as well, that can really come across as David's like knowledge and just all these things that maybe people don't know about. And even just like doing it like we do it on a budget, you know, we don't hide from that, but that is how we manage to go a couple of times a year, 3 times a year, is because we are doing it on a bit more of a budget. And it's just being able to share that, because so many people have in their head that Orlando's so expensive, like people I work with, and I get it would be expensive if you've got, you know, kids and the more people that's in your party, of course the park tickets and things are going to get more pricey, but I think it's trying to tell people that it's not actually that scary and you can do it on a budget. And you know, last minute deals and like the points with certain credit cards. There's so many ways to do it. So
because I mean, like TUI do a lot of last minute deals that are really, really good. But it's again, I think people are maybe scared to fly into Melbourne, but you're in and out of Melbourne in like half an hour. And again, it's just like, for me, well, I just drive right up. When we flew with TUI, I've just drove straight along 192 into St Cloud and then go the back ways to over at the 27 that way to the villa. But it doesn't. It depends on what people want. But it's not as expensive as what people might think. I think when you look at, like, well, for us, like, I don't know what the flights are like from London, but I think they're a bit cheaper because Edinburgh's quite an expensive airport. But for us, for flights from Edinburgh with Virgin, they're like $2,000 per person.
Yeah,
that's just like, it's not even realistic.
For us, we're always like, you know, we avoid Virgin for that reason. But like for me next year, Virgin's actually not looking too bad, so we might consider it. But we just shop about, and we are willing to travel to different airports. Like, as much as we're from, well, just outside Edinburgh, you know, we'll travel to Birmingham Airport, Manchester Airport, on the prices. But I know that's not an option for everyone. So.
But again, it's like when I was a kid and I was younger, like when we'd go to Florida, it was only kind of as I got a bit older, that you would fly from Edinburgh to London, London to Orlando, or like when Edinburgh started getting like United and Delta and stuff like that, they would fly into Newark and then Newark down to Orlando, which was a bit cheaper. But when I was a kid, we would always drive down to London or drive to Manchester, and for me, that's part of the holiday. I love that.
Yeah, starts your holiday just that bit earlier.
Travel day, isn't it? Like
the pre-travel day, that's like your part of your holiday for me, and I love that. So
it's not great coming back, but that's part of the experience when you
go
down.
I've got matchsticks in my eyes trying to keep my eyes open driving home, and Amy's just like sleeping on the passenger seat.
Yeah, but no, that's the whole point, and Instagram and YouTube, and that's why we're so grateful that like it exists, and there's so many other people that want to have these types of Instagrams and YouTubes because you learn something. You like, even David, he's lived there, he's been God knows how many times. You still learn something new, or a new way to book it, or something new to do. There's, nobody knows it all when it comes to a place like Orlando.
So this rounds up the Scotland to Florida one. I hope you've all enjoyed listening to this one as much as I enjoyed talking to Amy and David about all things Orlando. It was such a great insight to hear about what David's done with regards to living in Orlando as well. And, they've got some really, really exciting stuff coming up. So be sure to go and check out their Instagram, go and check out their YouTube videos as well. There's going to be plenty more stuff coming in the future. Once again, thank you for listening, and I will speak to you all in the next one.